off yesterday. And yesterday the group who was dealing with the hanging had started us off on considering some strong and weak verbs. So they had decided that George Orwell is doing a really good job with the sentence, all the organs of his body were working, bowels digesting food, skin renewing itself, nails growing, tissues forming, all toiling away in solemn foolery. Strong, attention-grabbing verbs, powerful and direct, and arranged in a sort of poetic repetition. So there's almost a rhythm to this, which also amplifies the power of it. Then we had decided that the very first sentence of the story, it was in Burma, a sodden morning of the rains, was a little bit unclear and possibly not strong enough. And I remember that Sammy was drawing attention to it and saying that, well, maybe happened might be better because that refers to a specific event. Remember the conclusion that I gave you on that score. It is a strong or weak verb depending upon what you're looking for. And in senior year, you decide what you're looking for. You decide what sort of message, what sort of tone you want to create. Do you want a tone of mystery, a tone of a lack of clarity? Do you want intentionally to manipulate the audience such that they're not quite sure what's going on and therefore you use a verb that's not very specific? Or was that just a mistake? Did you not intend to do that? And by the way, before you're thinking about being tricky, yeah, we teachers can tell the difference. We can tell the difference between intentional strategy in word choice and laziness. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the other stories that you were looking at, and let's do another slide of verbs. We had what was the name of that one? That morning on the prairie in the back. So that morning on the prairie group back to my left. Let's work with some more verbs. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to give myself a clean slide so I can leave that up there. Sorry? It's recording, and whenever I record, for some reason it causes a little bit of flurry. You'll also see when I write, it looks like I, have cerebral palsy or something because everything jumps all over the place. That was rude and insensitive. You're not supposed to laugh at that point. The microphone can pick it up. Okay. I'm sorry? Can we hear you? Yeah, to a certain extent. The recorder can hear you when you speak clearly. That's not good. All right, that morning on the prairie, group back to my left. Give me some verbs. If you have your textbooks, the college writer, open them to the page of the story. That morning on the prairie, people, where are we? 138. I'd like some strong verbs. Start me with strong. Humming. Commandeering. I'm sorry, commandeering. Okay, excellent. So let's take a look at that. We are down at the... Wasn't that funny? It was pretty fun? Okay. The last line of the first page, page 138, we have the verb commandeering. Actually, it's a two-part verb where the verb is was commandeering. Why don't you type the sentence, please? And I'll tell you what, start with, don't type the entire thing, start with Mohammed Atta. No, it's good enough. What was that? Your defense. Why is it a good verb? Why? I know, I'm being that annoying. It's 5-year-old children and teachers have the annoying habit of asking why after everything. So, not a common word. So, being not a common word, Kelsey, what effect does it have on the reader? Kendra? Okay, Kendra. It's not a common word. What effect does that have on the reader? Uncommon words draw attention. What else makes it a powerful verb? Unrelated. What, Kelsey? Oh, true. Well, flying would be incorrect, right? Because they weren't just flying. They were actually commandeering it, which means that they were hijacking it. That might be another verb. What if you weren't using something really specific like this, what do you think somebody would commonly say? What bad verb could we place in there? Stealing? Why does stealing not work, Jay? You're mumbling. Come on, confidence. Okay, it's very plain. It doesn't draw attention, so we lose the drawing attention. Excellent, but what else? Devendra, you've had your hand up for a while. Devendra, what do we gain by using commandeering instead of hijacking? I think they might be equally descriptive. What does the word commandeering remind you of? What does it look like? What other words? Thank you. Command. There's a connection here to the word command. There's a connection here to the word that speaks to me of authority and intimidating authority, and therefore commandeering might be a little bit better than hijacking. Hijacking makes me think of experiences that I see on the news. Commandeering makes me think of personal experiences I have of being commanded by somebody in authority, somebody who's intimidating. So commandeering might be a little bit better for 2 reasons. You ladies let me know that it's not common, it draws attention. We know that it's very specific, it's not very general, and it has this, we have 2 levels of word meaning that you've been learning at least since freshman year. Does anybody remember what the 2 levels of the meaning of a word are? No. Every word has 2 levels of meaning. Yeah? Close. You're really close, Emily. Figurative is close, although figurative makes me think of similes, metaphors, and symbols, which not every word necessarily has. Give you a hint. One of them is contained in the dictionary. One of them is contained in my personal experience. Thank you. Denotation and connotation. This word was selected for its very specific denotation, its very powerful connotation. So the author is using the language based upon an understanding of both levels of meaning. And we can analyze it for both levels of meaning. Great. Kendra, could you give me a Control G, please? Thank you. You got weak? Take. Good. Where are you with take? In which paragraph?